A day that has seen junior secondary school officially rolled out. A special day for those junior secondary school candidates, if you might call them that. And a day that we've seen the government also remain tough on cracking down on any sort of incitement within the country. Thank you very much for joining us tonight right here on Lookup News. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiage. We do have a lot that is planned for tonight. And remember, you can join us online at Lookuptv across all your social media platforms. Before we get started, let's take a look at those stories that are taking center stage this evening. Tonight, grade 7 pupils report for first day in a junior secondary. Korogocho MCA Absalom Odhiambo arrested over incitement remarks.
Being a candidate, how did you end up inviting officials of an independent body to your house?
President William Ruto pokes holes into the allegations by Raila Odinga that IEBC commissioners visited his home. And family of a slain rally driver Assad Khan opposes the move by the DCI to close investigations into his death. Much more of the stories on www.lookuptv.co.ke. Thank you very much for joining us again. Our sign language interpreter this evening is Josephine Auka. Let's get started. The government has officially announced that junior secondary schools will remain free and it is illegal to charge parents. Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Machogu has assured parents with their children in grade 7 that he is committed to ensure 100% transition to the junior secondary school.
As grade 7 pupils officially report to school, the government has insisted that it is ready to facilitate CBC in secondary schools. While officially commissioning junior secondary schools at Nairobi Primary School, Education CS Ezekiel Machogu has announced that the government has disbursed over 3 billion to purchase learning materials for JSS pupils, and parents are not to pay for any required material.
The total number of books that we have been able to buy so far, which again are indicated they are free for all government junior secondary school. We have 12 running areas, that is 12 subjects, and we have adequate books that will be given to each and every student out of the 1.2 million students that we have countrywide.
Machogu has insisted that his office is working closely with the National Assembly and World Bank to improve infrastructures within schools.
So we have been in contact with the World Bank and we thank them so much because we are in agreement that they will be able to give us funds that will be able to put up 10,000 reparatories countrywide. We are going to come up with a very clear and a transparent criteria and a system which will ensure that the 10,000 reparatories that we are going to put up countrywide are well spread out.
This has been the case across the country, with the Eastern Region Director of Education William Sugut assuring parents in the region that all pupils who sat for KPSEA are well catered in schools that were approved for the junior secondary schools in Eastern Region.
Ningependa kuwahimiza washikadau wote kuhakikisha kwamba watoto wamefika shule, na kama wizara upande huu tutashikilia kwamba watoto wote wafike shule ili waweze kusajiliwa, na tumejitolea kama maafisa wa serikali upande huu ili kuhakikisha kwamba kazi hii inaendelea vilivyo, na bila shaka wazazi wasiwe na wasiwasi wowote kwa sababu serikali itashughulikia jambo hili, na kwa hivyo watoto wetu wataweza kufika shule na kuweza kupata masomo.
Speaking at AMWAI Primary School in Kiage County while monitoring the JSS Learners Day 1 reporting, Basic Education PS Belio Kipsang has said that education stakeholders should work hand in hand to prepare the learners to choose pathways in senior secondary school level.
We are so confident that we shall do that which we must do as government to ensure that the learning environment of our children is conducive and that we are preparing them adequately to be able to move to senior secondary.
As over 1 million pupils across the country transition to junior secondary schools, Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Machogu has assured Kenyans of his full support to facilitate the CBC curriculum and eliminate the existing challenges. Samia Dika, Lookup TV.
Samia Dika. Korogocho MCA Absalom Odhiambo has been arrested over his utterances during Azimio rally at Kamkunji. Absalom is being accused of inciting Kenyans to cause chaos. Ashada Karibe reports the MCA was picked by the DCI sleuths during his sermon at the NCIC headquarters.
The Azimio public rallies have seen Korogocho MCA Absalom Odhiambo arrested over his utterances during one of the rallies that was held at Kamkunji grounds.
Hey, nimeona mmekuja.
The National Integration and Cohesion Commission, NCIC, summoned the MCA after what they said was incitement, and on Monday morning, the police arrested the ward representative and he was handed to the Directorate of Criminal Investigation, DCI, for further questioning.
Tunataka tutoke, tuende Ikulu, ndio William Ruto ashimu Raila Amolo Odinga.
In a viral clip, the vocal MCAs was criticizing the Kenya Kwanza administration and rallying up the Azimio One Kenya supporters for a mass action in the city. According to the NCIC, his remarks were creating unnecessary tension in the country, stating that if not well managed, could plunge the country into chaos. Shadrack Kareria, Lookup TV.
President William Ruto has hit out at a chief opposition leader Raila Odinga on claims that Chebukati 3 visited him at his home during the elections. Speaking in Mombasa, Ruto questioned Raila to reveal why he was visited by the then commissioners. This comes in a backdrop as a section of UDA senators alleged that former President Uhuru Kenyatta is bankrolling Raila Odinga's rallies.
Azimio la Umoja allied leaders stormed the Jacaranda grounds in Nairobi, with Raila Odinga claiming Chebukati visited his home before announcing the presidential election results. President William Ruto is now calling on Odinga to come out clean on what was the nature and aim of the meeting.
I was listening yesterday to one of our politicians who was alleging that members of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission went to his house. If it is true, what were these officials doing in your house at your invitation? Being a candidate, how did you end up inviting officials of an independent body to your house?
This comes as UDA allied senators have come out guns blazing, alleging that the Azimio la Umoja rallies are being funded by former President Uhuru Kenyatta.
That we have very credible information that the person who is sponsoring the ongoing mandamanos is President Uhuru Kenyatta, the former President of the Republic of Kenya.
The senators led by Nyandarwa's John Matthew say that the former head of state is doing all that in a bid to run away from paying taxes companies with ties to the Kenyatta family failed to pay during his reign, with certain companies accorded huge tax waivers.
In all the ongoing rallies that you've been seeing, there has been one very constant call by all the people that are addressed those rallies. They are speaking about taxes and people avoiding and evading paying taxes. It is known, it is public knowledge, and it has been reported by including the media that in the former regime, tax waivers were a daily business. The most famous being the NCBA-NIC merger, in which the Kenyatta family got a waiver of 350 million.
The senators also slammed the Kenyatta family for failing to pay land rates, insisting that it is a constitutional duty. Therefore, like every Kenyan, the family must pay those rates.
Kuna kitu inaitwa land rates. Kuna ile kondi inalipwa katika wenye maproti na wenye mashamba. Pia mnajua kwamba Uhuru Kenyatta na familia yake ni wao ambao wako na ile mashamba kubwa sana katika Kenya, kutoka Mombasa kwenda Nakuru hata Nairobi. Itawezekanaje mkazi mwenye anakaa Kayole alipe pesa la shamba, lakini wale ambao ni matajiri wakubwa wanakataa kulipa kondi ya shamba? Kwa hivyo pia tungeambia kaunti zote zile zinahusika kwamba wakuja wanakili mashamba yote ambao inahusika na wale watu walipi kondi.
Of doubt. We are united in what we are saying. We are demanding the former president, Uhuru Kenyatta. He had his power time, he misused it, and we are going after him. Not after his personal businesses. We are going after the fact that he has been avoiding paying taxes.
Methu also urged Kenyans not to be used by politicians in advancing their self-interests.
We'll ask that the people of Kenya, please do not be used by anybody for their own selfish interest or for their own selfish gains, that they want to take you to the streets to go and disrupt peace because they have been told to pay tax. Everybody should pay tax. All of us shall pay tax. There's no way we can be able to come out of the hole that the president has, the former president left us, if you are not patriotic. That is
Ian Keitani, Lookuptv.
Moving on, opposition leader Raila Odinga seems keen to pile pressure on the Kenya Kwanza administration. Raila has rallied his troops and is engaged in a none-holds-barred battle with President William Ruto's administration over the outcome of the August 2022 presidential election, reconstitution of the Independent and Electoral Boundaries Commission, IEBC, and looming constitutional changes that seek to, among other things, create the office of the official opposition leader. But what is he really up to? We dive deep into this matter.
They have been on the road with a list of demands, taking on the government head-on. The opposition looks like a dog that is ready to bite, if at all the recent happenings are anything to go by. A government not willing to bend to the will of the opposition, and an opposition that is threatening to hold the government by the neck. Who will bring first?
So there are conversations that are happening. They might not be what we see on the rallies, but deep down, late night conversations, early morning discussions happening, phone call conversations, so much so that it would be very, very difficult to say who is going to blink first. But to be honest with you, I think the president has been very categorical, and he said, we will engage on anything in terms of value addition, pushing Kenya people's agenda together, but anything on the handshake, which is now an advantage to Azimio, because now they know what else do we need to do. And if there is nothing for them to do, unfortunately, Brian, that is going to be the end of the game.
Odinga's mission, however, has demands that to some extent political pundits argue they may be unrealistic. Some of the issues being raised, however, are looked at as progressive, but through the wrong channels.
Demands by Azimio la Umoja, One Kenya Alliance, are very critical. I think that there are demands that are transformational. There are demands that would help this country grow if we took time to think about them. The only issue that I have with some of those demands is purely the timeline. They are ill-timed. I don't think they have any focus. And to me, they don't look like there's a very clear strategy on what Azimio la Umoja is purely looking at.
The opposition has dismissed wanting a handshake, as the government remains firm that its hand will not be stretched. So what exactly is Raila's endgame?
I see are probably 2 or 3 levels, or 2 to 3 ends. The first end is that the former Prime Minister has the capacity to push any government, and we have seen him do that from 2007. Of course, the 2007 one was a global issue, and we lost lives and property and all that. 2013, he pushed government, and we saw Supreme Court, of course, calling for another election, which he did not participate. Actually, that was accept and move on, and he pushed government, and we used to have every Wednesday, every weekend, there were mandamanos. 2017, the same thing happened. He was able to push government, and his ability to mobilize both financially and human resource in terms of people who attend those rallies is something that I think shocks very many people. Even the kind of energy that he has. You see, people thought he was done and he was going to rest, and then he goes out and goes to South Africa and he jets back and he looks like he's very energetic and he wants to participate in a match between Arsenal and Manchester, you know, and you see him coming up very energetic and very vibrant. So the former Prime Minister has that capacity to mobilize and bring people together, even his lieutenants, you know, his people, his co-principals, people like Mheshimiwa Kalonzo Musyoka, Eugene Wamalwa and others. That ability is there. So that's the first front. That's the first end, that he can push this government until, to some extent, the government actually bulges and bends.
After holding a rally at Kamukunji grounds in Nairobi on Monday and announcing more public engagements across the country, Raila is seemingly playing to the script of 2017, which ultimately led to the handshake between him and former President Uhuru Kenyatta in 2018.
One of the impacts which I think has been dealt with is a legitimacy issue. Because for you to get to a level where you are demonstrating, you must be able to present a case. What is the case? And what is the cause of your demonstration? Why are you demonstrating? Yes, you are saying that the election was stolen, but already President William Ruto's government is a legitimate government. It has gone through all the processes of legitimacy. In terms of the processes that legitimize a government, the threshold has been met.
Political and governance expert Kevin Osido says that renewed push for rallies is not only geared towards Raila revitalizing the opposition following a harrowing defeat in the election, but also a move to force Ruto on the negotiation table.
Government, in my view, has chosen to ignore Azimio. And even in the response by the president, you see him more or less taking a very backstage and a back stance and allowing his deputy and other lieutenants to be able to be the ones, responding to Azimio.
It is a government that has vowed not to be intimidated by the opposition, and an opposition that is adamant to push the president out of office. The push and pull in Kenya's political arena continues just 140 days into the Kenya Kwanza regime, with each side of the political divide waiting on each other to see who will blink first. Brian AMWAI, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
That story by Brian AMWAI right there. It takes us on a fast break right here on Lookup News. Once we come back, more stories to follow. And remember, we are live on our social media platforms at Lookuptv across all of them.
Are you a junior secondary school, a college, a TVET institution or a university, and you want to advertise your intake? Book now and advertise with us today on both Lookuptv and all our digital platforms. Call us today on 011 0430 158, 011 0430 158, or email us on sales@lookuptv.co.ke. Revival Sanctuary School is open for 2023 admission. We offer CBC classes from playgroup, PP1, PP2, grade 1 to 6, and the 844 curriculum from standard 7 to 8. Do not miss out the opportunity. Create the best future for your child today. Revival Sanctuary School bears and strive to excel.
Wow, what a haircut. I feel more relaxed and relieved. You know what? This is more of a therapy session than just a shave. Don't you dare change your barber, because for some of us, this is where we get to share issues that affect us most as men, either negative or positive.
We say it as it is, as we try to polish men's lives.
Well, even at the gym, as we try to keep fit, we always give attention to men's mental fitness.
And as you take a ride to or from work, we set the pace with conversations that matter to you as a man.
And this is Real and Raw. Tune in every Friday at 10 p.m. only on Lookuptv.
Mshamba! Naona unafanya biashara. Yes. Imagine Lotto ikupige boost ya 1 million Kenya shillings. Utafanyia nini?
1 million?
Yes.
Kenya shillings?
Yes.
Nitaongeza stroke hapa kuku kienyeji. Ni supply kuku kienyeji Nairobi yote. Karen kienyeji. Lavington kienyeji. Kangemi kienyeji. Paka Thika.
Safi na wewe je, ukipigwa boost ya 1 million Kenya shillings?
1 million?
Yes.
Mimi nitabai gari, alafu nilipe staycation Mombasa.
Alafu tuange kuselfie. Unangoja nini? Jiboost na Lotto.
Anza mwaka mpya na ushindi kwenye Lotto Mega Boost. Kila siku unaweza shinda boost ya shilingi 1,100 hadi shilingi 1,000,000. Zaidi ya washindi 200 guaranteed kila siku ndani ya Lotto. Mwaka mpya, mambo mapya. Jiboost ujijenge na Lotto. Cheza Lotto, paybill number 77700, andika neno Look kama account name, cheza na kati ya shilingi 50 hadi shilingi 1,000 na ushinde sasa. Jiboost na Lotto.
Changamka, cheza Lotto.
Over 18s only. Gaming can be addictive. Play responsibly. This message has been approved by the BCLB.
Welcome back to Lookup News. President William Ruto now says the members of parliament must routinely engage for effective discharge of their mandate. President Ruto said through debating, consulting and negotiating, the leaders can agree on how to move Kenya forward. It regretted that picketing, heckling and demonstrations were gaining currency in tackling disagreements in Kenya. Ruto was speaking when he officially opened post-election seminar for National Assembly in Mombasa.
In order to achieve effective synergy between the arms of government, I have assigned the Prime Cabinet Secretary, the Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, the role of coordinating and liaising with Parliament on the legislative agenda of government. And I have done so realizing the importance of there being a firm, definite link between the executive and Parliament that facilitates the work of Parliament, especially on requests from the executive. I have also assigned the Honorable Attorney General, Honorable Justin Muturi, the counterpart liaison role with the judiciary. I hope, dear honorable members, that you see, as I do, a collaborative framework along these lines is a viable means of deploying our leadership capabilities to address the issues that matter to Kenyans.
It is undisputed that governments all over the world exist to serve their people. And parliaments, in effect, act as a principal lawmaking institution that is charged with the legislative function, hence setting the boundaries within which any government, including you as Your Excellency, will operate. It is my conviction that this seminar will fortify strategic interventions for adoption by the legislature to address the emerging issues in the delivery of its mandate and underpin governance in an effective and robust manner while having citizen needs at the core of everything that we do.
As Parliament, we will play our role. We will pass laws that are pro-people, laws that will enhance the change that we desire and require in the country. As a parliament, we will help you to ensure that the resources that the people of Kenya place in the hands of the government through taxes are put to good use. And as a parliament, I'll encourage our members to ensure represent the people who elected you individually and collectively with vigor, with confidence, and with utmost effect.
The family of the slain rally driver Asad Khan has opposed a move by police to close investigations into his death before a decision is made whether to charge his girlfriend Maxine Wahome with his murder.
My name is Matwere. Yes. I have Iris notice.
I'll seek that a direction go on record. Should the DPP or family of the...
I'm appearing for the family of the killed person, Ashad. The murdered person. Because the murdered person cannot give instructions. I'm appearing for his brothers, for his father, for his relatives. Specific. And that's, Your Honor, the instructions I was trying to tell counsel here that in the miscellaneous application, a dead man has been identified. His relatives automatically become victims. So the application was made to investigate the circumstances of his death. Terminologies have been changed to put the respondent as a victim.
To our sports. KCB chess team players produced 5 players out of 10 who will form the team heading for the All-African Games scheduled to take place in Accra, Ghana later in the year. The 5 are Robert Maklegeo, Bernard Ngungu, Joseph Medhu, and Benjamin Magana in the open section, while a woman candidate, Master Joyce Nyirao, made a cut in the ladies section. The third and the final leg of the chess All-African Games qualifiers came to an end earlier today at the Utali Hotel, with 10 best players set to represent Kenya at the All-African Games.
I started out the tournament very badly, so yeah, I'm a bit happy. I think this is the toughest qualifier we ever had, both in the ladies and in the open section, because usually we have like one person with a lead of like 2 or 3 points, but this time people are just following closely. Up to the last round, it's not clear who's in, who's out. So I think there's a lot of growth. I have to get into intensive playing, not just the book reading and isolation, because we're actually not sure what kind of a tournament it's going to be. We are yet to see the invitation, if it's going to be a classical event or a rapid or a blitz. So you need to be well-rounded by then. So there's so much work to do. And hopefully my teammates in KCB, we can spar and polish each other up.
My performance this time was subpar. Very, very subpar. I'm not playing maybe to my usual standard. But not to take anything away from my competitors, they've played very, very well, so all credit to them. There is a very exciting new prospect in Kenyan chess called Robert Maklegeo. He's turning 18 later this year. He's our newest recruit for KCB, and he's in the team. So at least young blood is coming in, yeah? Because chess is a game of youth, you know? You need to be young or at least youthful, eh? So it is very exciting, and I think the team can do well. Okay, so we are very happy as KCB to have 4 men out of the team of 5 So 4 KCB players out of 5 men, and I think 1 lady out of 5 for the KCB contingent. So we are happy about that as KCB. But moving forward, we are looking forward to serious preps as the national team, and then we see how we'll do during the All Africa Games. But I think our chances are pretty good.
Now, in the second round of the FKF Premier League midweek fixtures, Mathare United will host Kenya Police at Waraka Grounds. Wazito FC face Talanta FC at Muhoroni Stadium, and AFC Leopards come up versus Vihiga Bullets at Nyayo Stadium. All games starting at 3 p.m. On to more fixtures. West Ham face Derby County in the FA Cup 4th round at Pride Park Stadium at 10:45 p.m. today. West Ham will look to capitalise their opportunity to progress in the FA Cup despite their bad run of form in the league. Well, that story there marks the end of Lookup News tonight. Thank you very much for being a part and parcel of our broadcast. Remember, more of these stories online at www.lookuptv.co.ke. And remember, also more of these are covered online through our social media platforms at Lookup TV across all of them. I am at Kiage Simba. Our sign language interpreter this evening has been Josephine Owuko. Up next, Lookup Business with me, Simba Elijah Charles Kiage.